Hello everybody, QC Runner for QC Runner Games, and I am back today with another episode of Hustle Castle. It has been a while, but it is time for another event preview video. Gotten some leaks and information about an update that's come out that includes some very cool quality of life changes, as well as an event which will be coming around the corner very quickly. So we are going to go ahead and jump in and talk about all of the stuff that I found out today. So first things first, before jumping into that, I wanted to thank everybody who has been supporting the channel. Thank you to Loco, South Bronx, Keith Giles, Aesop's9. You guys have been supporting the channel on an ongoing basis, monthly for the most part, so thank you for all your support. If that is something you're interested in, you can go ahead and check out the description of the video to find out how to do that. So with that, I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into what I have here. So I'm going to go to my Discord server. That is where I have the information posted at the moment. So we should be able to see that there. So as you can see, this is posted by Dent Wessam. Thank you very much. He very often posts this information and shares it on the server. So it's very useful, and I very much appreciate it every single time we get this coming out. So here are the details of the update. So again, we don't actually have a lot of details on the event. We'll probably make some speculations. We'll talk about the gear and again talk about some of the updates that are coming. And as a matter of fact, some of these updates are actually live with, I believe it's 1.41, I believe. All right, so here we go. Let me make sure you guys are seeing what I'm seeing here. Yes, okay. And right there. Okay, so a number of clan expeditions increases from 2 to 4 per day. Unfortunately, I can't really comment on that because I have never done a clan expedition. I suspect that'll be useful. Maybe that'll help me actually get in there. The problem for me is you need to actually be in and participating when it runs. It's not like something you can set up and just leave, which kind of goes with the way I play the events or the games, since I cover so many different things. We got a new store that's appeared for clan territories, an expedition tent in which you can purchase goods for Marauder coins. I'll go ahead and click on a bunch of the stuff as much as I can remember. Again, for the clan territories, I haven't been very active there, so I can't really comment too much on most of that. Clan crest is a composite changeable crest that will be displayed in every battle. Create your own unique design. That's pretty cool for the creative types. New kits for warriors, archers, and magicians. I'm guessing that's for expeditions only. Maybe not. Maybe there's different things for sale, and I'm not really sure. We'll find out what that is. Also, new castle and expedition skins. Well, that's kind of opposite of what I just said. So I have skins for expeditions only, skins for the castle, which will be kind of cool, and then there's new kits for the other types. Okay, we'll see what that is. Here we go. This will be interesting. So now battles during the not this one yet. Now battles during the trial of the squad can be completed ahead of schedule. Again, expedition stuff, I don't really know what that is, but the ahead of schedule, maybe that fits into me being able to participate finally. In the squad preparation window for the arena, there are 2 new buttons: previous squad and place the best. I believe this would be the arena. I haven't checked this out yet, but interesting thoughts on this one. So previous squad, very useful. People that change things up all the time, being able to put a previous squad in, very useful, especially when you don't have your normal squad. If you just have whoever's in your barracks, you put them in and you go, you always have your previous squad. That's not a big deal. But if you change it up and put people in different places and things like that, hitting the previous button will be very useful, so you don't have to go back and try to figure out what it was. But the really interesting thing is place the best. You know, what's the definition of best? Is it going to be highest power, which, as we know, that doesn't mean the best? Is it going? It could be any number of combinations. You would think programmatically the best means the highest power. It'd be the easiest thing to program, but again, that certainly will not be my best. So that'll be interesting to see how that one comes into play. But I'm happy to see that they are adding this kind of functionality. That'll be fairly useful. The My.Games section has appeared in the game setting, which you can now familiarize yourself with other games. Okay, we got My.Games showing. Interestingly enough, I had been showing a lot of my videos where I'd be playing the PC version of the game, and right now I can't record. Something is messed up where I can log onto the game, I can see the game, but it doesn't show up on my recording. So something is not working very well with OBS and the My.Games interface. So got to get that figured out. But the game itself still plays fine. So if that's something you're interested in, you should check it out because it's a lot easier to play there than on the emulator. Here's a big one. Fights can now be viewed. I didn't see the word viewed. Fights can now be viewed at ×4 speed. I thought they could be fought at ×4 speed. And maybe it is. As before, acceleration only works if you add premium. Yeah, my initial impression when I saw this one was, you're doing the arena. More importantly, you're doing the djembe, or even doing the dungeons. Yeah, dungeons. Make sure you get the right game here. The ×4 is going to be helpful, because sometimes, especially when you're doing like djembe, you're just grinding through it as quickly as possible. So that ×4 is going to be huge. Hopefully it's actually as you're participating in it as ×4, rather than just like replaying it. So it'll be interesting to see what that word viewed means. Hopefully it's my first thought, where you just go through it the first time you view it. It's going to be the ×4 if you want. All right, this is another big one. The possibility of mass opening chests have been added. Identical chests can now be opened at 10 pieces at a time. I'm going to go ahead and try that if I can remember, because as we know, I have a ton of chests, and that'll be one way that probably will help me start getting through those. Make sure we're scrolling here. It looks like we are. Okay. And the main reason most people are probably here, a brand new event is coming. For the first time in Hustle Castle, Beach Monopoly is waiting for you. With it, a huge number of unique rewards. So what does this mean? A new event, more than likely that means a new event style. We know what Monopoly means, because I think most of us really know what that game means. So the interesting thing is going to be, let me go ahead and flip this on real quick. Yeah, so if you remember, I did the preview here where we talked about a new event style coming at some point, not the next event, but some event. This is a new event. This is something different. This is something that I don't think a lot of people are going to be happy about in this game, because it exists in American Dad and it's not very popular. There's the other screen we have here. This doesn't really look like a Monopoly setup, so I don't think this is going to be the casino style event we talked about earlier. And based on the word casino, and I mean, I can't read anything above there, but casino versus Monopoly, I don't believe it's going to be this style of event. So maybe there's going to be yet another style event that we haven't heard about yet. So it'll be interesting, and we'll find out soon. I'm sure next week, probably Thursday, the event would be going live, would be my guess. But I don't have any more details on what it is, so that is not out yet. So we don't really know what the specific event is going to be, but there's going to be a lot of stuff coming from it. So there's a lot of text coming. I'm going to get through this as quickly as possible. I'm going to be skipping some of the words here, but there's some different things that are going to happen. So we have a new artifact called the Magic Cube, and this is going to be a random thing. So we'll see how the randomness works. It's probably possibly good, but not always good. So if you're going without a rune, it's going to roll a dice, and depending on that, roll a die, and depending on the value, you're going to get different effects. So 1 to 3, which is half of the time, opponents are dealt a certain amount of damage, and they can't use their weapons. If it's a 4 through 5, so 33% of the time, opponents will have effectiveness of their healing received will be reduced. So it'll be interesting to see if that's a dice that shows up on the screen or how it is. And if it's a 6, so 16.7% of the time the opponents are dealt damage, probably a higher percentage, because this is a less percentage chance of it happening, so it's probably better results. They will not be able to use their weapon. They will receive more damage, and the effectiveness of the healing they receive will be reduced. The number of enemies that this will affect will depend on the value of the die roll. Could be interesting. Okay, so if you have a rune on this one, same thing, rolls a die, depending on the value. If it's 1 through 3, opponents are dealt damage. Opponents is the same. Not be able to use weapons, so again, it'll probably be higher percentages, so just depend what it is. 4 through 5, same thing. 6, not be able to use, same. Number of abilities will affect the value of the roll of die. Also reduces the cooldown of the artifact abilities of several random allies. The number of allies depending on the value rolled on the die. Okay, without these numbers filled in, we can't really tell what's going on, but so that'll be interesting to see how that really works, because obviously half the time it's going to be one thing, 33 another, and then 16% another. So it'll be interesting to see if those are useful or not. So we got new daggers coming out here, Sir Quaxalots. A fighter can block a melee strike with a certain chance. When blocked, the attacker is stunned. After being stunned, the enemy is unbalanced. He cannot dodge or crit. Also, the chance the fighter can reflect the received damage from a ranged attack back to the enemy. So daggers are not, assassins specifically are not that useful in the game anymore, because there's many other successful, more successful options. So maybe something like this will allow assassins to come back into the game. we'll see. I like the name. That's pretty cool. Sir Quacks a lot. And then a little bit lower, interesting enough, Sir Cryaxalot Plate, spelled differently. Interesting. No rune. Once in a while, the health of the allied fighter drops to a critical level, then a shield is applied. We already have something like that. That's interesting. Equal to the current health of the owner of the armor. That's nice. That's a huge shield. With the rune, once in a while, the health of an allied fighter drops to crit. A shield is applied equal to the current health of the owner. Also, the fighter ignores magic damage. Magic damage is huge in the game at the moment, so this seems like this could be highly useful. With a special rune number 1, with special rune number 2. I don't know what that means. I mean, there are different runes that can be used in multiple ways, so I guess that's what number 1 and number 2 means. Not sure. Once in a while, a fighter takes damage instead of an ally with the lowest health. Okay, so your tank does more tanking. That's good. Number 2, with the special rune, once in a while, all damage taken becomes a healing for the fighter. Also useful. All damage taken will become healing. It seems like either one of those could be great options for a tank out front. That's pretty cool. Sphere Master Chaken. Without a rune, once in a while, cast a curse on a random enemy using an armor or weapon ability. He takes damage. When using an artifact, all enemies take the damage. Ooh, nice. With the rune, every time cast on a random enemy using armor or weapon abilities, when using the artifact ability, all enemies take damage. Also increases the cooldown. That's not very exciting. And with the special rune, once in a while, exchanges the health of the ally with the lowest health and the farthest enemy, and whose current health is greater. The greater the ally of the... Okay, that's interesting. Once in a while, exchanges the health of the ally with the lowest health and the farthest enemy, whose current health is greater and greater than the health of this ally. That reads very weird, but if your health is low, you can take it from somebody else. This is something that people do to me all the time in Djembe. People that are not very strong, not very big, they can destroy me by doing this and taking my tank down to nothing. So it'll be interesting. All right, the Master Shaken Robe. Once in a while, prevents the death of an ally. Nice. And deals damage to a random enemy from the current health of the rescued soldier. This also recovers max health. Nice. With a rune, once every time prevents the death of an ally. Distribute damage to all opponents. The ally recovers from its maximum health. I like that. That is one I'm looking forward to. Special rune, when an ally warrior dies, the fighter increases his max health and restores himself. The fighter. When an allied warrior dies, the fighter increases his max health. Okay. Crossbow. Let me make sure we're still recording here. Looks like we're still going. Okay, so crossbow, amphibian man. The fighter attack deals damage, additional damage to something from the target's physical armor. Damage ignores armor. That's not very exciting. It seems like people are not using archers anymore in this game. I still am. It's still a very big, important part to my setup and the way I run things, but most of the top players don't run an archer anymore, and most of them are running legionnaires like crazy out front. So this doesn't excite me. It probably won't excite anybody else. Something new, something different. Could be good for newer players, maybe. Without a rune, the amphibian man equipment, every time a fighter dodges an enemy, it deals damage and stuns him. With the rune, additional damage when the dodge of a fighter. It's not very exciting. With the special rune, once in a while, the fighter heals himself. During this time, opponents cannot target with abilities and attacks. Not so exciting. A new ring, Rescue Duck. All abilities of fighters inflict more damage on the target if it has less health. Okay, we need to see some of those details to know if that's going to be good. Best Friend Amulet. Every time an enemy fighter dies, it explodes and deals damage to all enemies. Also, allies hit by the explosion restore health. I like it. That's going to be a useful one somewhere. Book Shekonomaiken Grimoire. Only with 10 TK. Without a rune, once in a while versus once in some time, 3 random enemies deal damage for 3 random allies restore. And 3 random allies restore. Nobody's running a grimoire, so maybe this will help it. I don't know. Have a rune. Once in a while, 3 do damage, 3 restore. Also, opponents who receive damage with a chance can make attacks on the nearest soldier from their squad. I don't know. Reads weird and it's not very exciting. All right, so we got some extra news down here. We got some new sets coming out as well. I think that's what this is. It's going to be hard to read this. So there's actually a few sets from what I saw. I don't have all of that listed here the way it looks, but one of the new sets coming out is going to be the Eclipse Kit, which will most likely be on a warrior, while it's not even clear with what weapon the properties are approximately spelled out. So if we go to the bottom, 6 of 6 here. 6 of 6 equals 4 plus 6. All right, so we'll have to read it all. Okay, so once in a while applies the shield. Eclipse heals itself in the amount and damage blocked by shields. 4 of 6 is triggers an explosion that deals damage to the enemies. Each enemy hit, the Eclipse restores health to itself and restores health over time as many allies as were hit by the explosion. In this case, the physical armor of the fighter is increased. And 6 of 6, once in a while, the Eclipse attack triggers an explosion that stuns all enemies, wow, and deals damage to them. For each enemy hit, the Eclipse restores health, also restores health over allies that were hit. In this case, the physical armor that is increased. After the explosion, all allied heroes are covered with shields that blocks. Okay, well, that comes fairly handy and fairly useful. We'll have to see people do that. It seems like most people are more about attacking versus, this kind of defense, but that could be interesting. And I did see other places that there were 2 other sets coming out that I don't see listed here, so I'll have to find those details. I'll post them if I can find them. So we got notes here about assumptions. Probably many were confused by the moment special runes. Yes, we were actually. Still wildly confuses us. Most likely these are still runes, and according to the information from the file, a special rune can be used separately or together with a rune. The joke about runes on runes becomes relevant, so we don't really know, I guess, what those special runes are going to be. Maybe they're not the runes that also you can add for additional benefits, one or the other. In my mind, it's going to be that versus, a rune on a rune or something else like that. I can't read that, so I don't know what that says. It looks like pictures of all the stuff that we're going to be getting. Let's see, does that show up if I do that? No, you guys can't. Oh, yeah, you can see that. A little bit bigger. Pictures of what all the stuff are going to be. So there's what the die is. I guess that's the artifact. It rolls and we see it. And there's our amulet and the ring. Okay, those daggers are interesting looking. Very weird looking crossbow. And that's the set armor down there. Okay. New skin. So this is for the arena or expeditions. We probably don't know. Pop that up. Yeah, we can see a little bit better. Kind of cool looking. I don't know if I really want to have a dog or a gopher or a Batman setup, but if you're into that, we got that going there. Looks like that's all we have. So again, it's a new event with updates. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and log back into this game. Let me close my Discord window here. Let me log back in. I want to look at the opening multiple boxes at the same time, because obviously that will be something that will be useful for me at some point if I decide to go down that path. And we can go look at the expeditions as well. But again, I don't have a lot of experience there, so I can't really comment too much on what's going on. And since I'm in the emulator instead of the PC, it's a lot slower here. So here's our clan territories. Not really giving us a whole lot of information. I don't really know where to look, so that's not going to be helpful. Raiders neighborhood, nothing there. Store. This looks fairly the same as always, I think, so that's probably not it. So somewhere there's something. Like I said, I can't comment on that, so apologize. Coming soon, we got a new area there. That's kind of nice. All right, so let's close this one. Let's go ahead and go to our 8,000 chests here. So let's go with something I'm not going to be wasting tons of resources. Right here, I guess we'll go with this one. A chest from the dungeon. We get materials, special dungeon materials. Looks like I can only open one thing here. So maybe the update's not live yet. Yeah, I guess I didn't download the latest version here. So I did this on the PC version, and once I opened that first chest, there was a button here that said open 1 or open 10. So I guess whatever those results are would all show up here on the screen. I don't have that version downloaded, or it didn't make me get it, or I don't have it. So, but that was the only difference that I saw there as far as being able to do that. But obviously we know that's pretty nice. So I don't think this tells me what version I'm running. I'm guessing this means I'm still running 1.4. Probably one of these. I'm not going to click on it and mess anything up here in the recording, but anyway, quality of life changes coming. Always a good thing. Always what people are looking for. So I have been reading some people posting some things about being a bit buggy. So I would imagine these would be cleaned up over time, and in the long run, we will all be happy with it. So anyway, no details exactly on when this event's going live. Usually Tuesdays or Thursdays are fairly common. I just came out. I don't have the update yet on my iPhone, so that means iOS App Store update's not there yet. So, and we don't ever have releases on the weekend. So I would guess Tuesday at the very earliest, more than likely Thursday. This game has been giving us information way ahead of time before events go live, so it even could be later than that. But as of right now, my expectation would be next Thursday. So fingers crossed, we will see. And that will do it for this event. Again, no details of exactly how the gameplay of the event is and what it's going to be called, but once I find that out, we will talk about that, and I'll jump in when the event goes live, and we'll check it out together. So until then, this has been QC Runner for QC Runner Games, and I will talk to you later. See ya.